everybody, and welcome to Just Saying. It is May 13th, 2013. I'm Kim, and I'm sitting here in our secret studio and joined by my lovely, vivacious, and oh so entertaining co host, Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Kim. I thought I was going to have to hold up a name tag with your name there.
I forgot!
I know. I think we've been doing a lot of forgetting lately.
Nice shirt you have on, by the way.
You like that?
I like that.
Yeah. I also have something else on, but I'll talk about that when our guests come on, too. So, are you back to normal yet?
No, I'm not. I go to sleep exhausted, wake up, and I feel just as tired when I wake up as I am when I go to bed.
Isn't that crazy? And we'll talk a little bit about that later on in the show, too. But it's hard to believe for months and months and months it was this, guess what's coming up? It's 3 months away. It's 2 months away. It's 3 weeks away. And now it's a week behind us. Isn't that a very strange feeling?
It's very strange.
I mean, I feel like we should be sitting here plotting something.
I know. It's like I'm sitting here going, I don't know what to do.
I know. What did I not tell you the week before on the show?
Yeah.
Christmas night. It's definitely that Christmas night feeling. You know, all that shopping, all that wrapping, in 30 seconds it's done, and Christmas night it's like, oh. But at least the difference between Christmas night and this is we're not sitting here with our charge cards all run up. We're not feeling like we ate all this stuff that we shouldn't, but we walked away feeling wonderful.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
The pure craziness of it all.
Yeah, but it's not the kind of thing that where we were all away and it's like, oh, for God's sakes, don't put those pictures out. I don't want people to see what we were doing. It's we're tripping over ourselves now to get, like, I just got my husband's pictures, 620 of them, so I have to go through all those and get them. I mean, every moment was a picture-taking moment, and it was a good moment. I don't think there's anything like, don't show that kind of moment.
Yeah, well, if there was, it's game on. So unless you're willing to fork over some big bucks, every picture's getting posted sometime.
Well, we can honest and truthfully say not one of us had one bite of cheesecake while we were there.
No, we didn't.
And I'm disappointed in that. I know, isn't that a shock? I actually, the last night, I had a cheesecake in my hand, and it was cheesecake or black and white cookies. Cheesecake, black and white cookies. And we all know what won out.
Yeah, we know which one and who got them.
I'm sure he shared.
No, he did not, and there are none left.
You gotta be kidding.
Oh, well. Anyway, we have a pretty cool show planned. We have 2 really, really good guests coming on that I can officially say they're my friends now because I got to meet them face to face. We will have another one coming on, and anybody else who pops in the chat room that was there that want to call in, they can call in too, because this is all about sharing the paranormal conference, our experiences, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, now that Patty posted that, I would like to say, though, that Robin Marie brought us the ricotta pie, which is supposed to be an Italian-type cheesecake.
Yeah.
So technically we did have something, and it rocked.
Yes, it was. And you know what? That tasted so good, I would not have any problems driving to Boston to go pick one up.
Right? Well, pick up 2.
My daughter-in-law, Jen, she's in the chat room. She's a dessert connoisseur. And I kept telling her, because she had already gone up to bed, I said, you got to get out of bed and try this. I said, it is so good. And she was like, dead to the world. Well, the next day, there was like this one little piece left, and I ended up splitting it between her and somebody else, and as soon as she tasted it, I wish I had my camera, and that got more than the 2 thumbs up from her.
Oh, that pie was so good.
Yeah, it's true.
I think I gained 10 pounds at the Para-con. That's really sad.
Well, you know what? There was a lot of good food there. I mean, I'm not bragging because we were cooking, but I don't think there's any better compliment when you make something and when you go back to maybe get another spoonful, it's scraped clean. There's nothing there. And we kicked it off right with Eric's barbecued pulled pork. That was a hit. Saturday night, I don't even remember Friday night. What did we do Friday night? Oh, that was his pulled pork. And then Saturday night you made your
muscatelli.
Yes, and I had the meatballs and sausage, and it was gone. And that's what you love to see.
Well, adding the extra ingredients, we had like 10 pounds of potato salad that completely disappeared.
Yeah, I wasn't a hog first time around. I took a little itty bitty spoonful. Note to self, when Kimmy makes her potato salad, be a hog, because when you go back, it's gone.
Daniel Pierce came in the next day. He's like, ooh, sandwiches, potato salad too? Nope. You're kidding.
He's going to cry.
Where'd it go? I want a potato salad.
Yeah, absolutely. But, and that, like I said, that's cool when everything goes, even the tossed salad. I mean, make it, but you know what I think? You know why I think that tossed salad really went well? Was because Patty made it.
That was it.
Here, make a salad. And she did, and it was gone. So everybody had their fingers into something. But it worked out.
And everybody ate. Yes, and Cynthia had her fingers in the salad, too.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing Patty back there. We were all in and out and, doing our thing. What else was I going to say? Even breakfast. It's like, it was cool. Somebody was always going to Dunkin' Donuts. Somebody's driving by, and all you do is hold up fingers. 2 cups, 3 cups, 1 cup. It was always something.
Oh, I know. Rick, a.k.a. my Vinny, was heading out the door. He looks at me, he says, coffee? And I held up one finger, and he's like, large? And I nodded my head, and out the door he went.
Is there any other side when it comes to drinking coffee?
No, and why ask? Hello? I spent 2 weeks with the man. He knows.
Yeah, we bring Dee in, and what do we start out with? Coffee.
It's all her fault.
Yeah, Dee was hysterical. And I posted pictures of before coffee with Dee. She's not making it up, folks.
And she had the twitch.
I mean, Dee's sitting there at one point, every time somebody went to Dunkin' Donuts and they were going by, they stuck a cup in her hand. They didn't want to mess with her until they knew she had enough caffeine in her system. So anyway, welcome to the show, Dee.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you ladies.
No, it's our honor. Do we have Patty with us yet?
I'm here, ladies.
Hello, Patty.
Uh-oh.
Hi, sister.
We are honored to have Patty and Dee with us tonight. They were part of the Para-con. I was lucky enough to have Dee sitting to my left.
I'm not sure that was lucky or what, because you two started throwing things.
Oh, yeah.
Kim, who started it?
Honestly, I don't know. All I know is I turned around, you were both giggling, and stuff was flying.
Well, you kind of deserved it, but anyway.
Too funny. Well, I told Dee the other day, and she'll verify this, when we were setting up, and the guys were putting, it might have been Shannon was putting the papers around on the table as to who sat where. And I looked over and I saw Dee's name on the table next to me. And I went to you, Kim. I said, what is she doing next to me? I don't want to sit next to Dee. Well, you know what? It was the best experience I ever had, and I take it back. Her doveness graced my presence, and my life hasn't been the same.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
And they do make
Not
a sad
really,
when they get rid of that.
I've been to a lot of Para-cons, and I just have to say that this was the most well-run Para-con. It was fun, it was informative, and we got fed.
You like that?
Ain't that deep?
Oh my gosh, we got fed. You don't find that at Para-cons.
Hey,
Well,
we
that-
nobody leaves our vicinity with an empty belly, and if you do, it's your own fault.
I blame St. Louis.
I didn't hear that one.
Eric said he blames St. Louis.
Yeah.
They have no concept of portion sizes in the Midwest.
Yeah, where I grew up, you feed everybody, or you're in trouble.
You feed them till
Yeah,
they sleep.
that's the same way I was brought up too. If you had a get together, it was like a big potluck, and you guys did a great job. Completely, it was just amazing. The whole thing was amazing, and it was my first Para-con, and I want to go back.
You didn't want to leave.
I didn't want to leave. I said to you in the truck on the way to the airport, I think I left part of myself back there. I just didn't realize how deep that went.
Yeah.
You didn't realize it was going
The
to.
really cool thing about that Para-con was the majority of the people had never been to the Shanley Hotel. And I've been there many times. Kim's been there quite a few times, and I think that was the second time for Eric. And I had just as much fun, or I would have had just as much fun sitting on the steps, going up to the second floor, watching everybody walk in for the first time with my camera and seeing their expression. And you know what? Sitting out front when everybody's leaving, people were smiling, but they were teary-eyed at the same time. And what does that tell you about going to a location?
Oh, yeah. Not just being tired because you're kind of drained and everybody's emotional. It was the emotional connections everybody made with each other. It was amazing.
It was. I walked away with so many more friends in the field. And what was really cool about it is, if you think about it, not one person that was there did the exact same thing.
Mm-mm.
And everybody was sharing their information, and I can attest, and Ken can too. When you have that many people, you try to get around to talk to everybody, okay? And, some would go off and have their little conversations and, whatever, and then you go over and join them, and then, and they were all mixing. Like, say it was like Dee, Patty, and myself, and the next thing you know, I'm over with Tracy and David, and Kim's over. It was constantly changing. And everybody just was so excited and just generally warm and sharing. And if I could relive that all over again, I certainly would.
There were no cliques. There were no little groups over in corners talking smack about anybody else. There were no cliques. Everybody was everywhere.
Well, yeah, we were all free roaming.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, meeting you, Patty, I had such an immediate connection with you. It was amazing.
Oh, Dee, me too. Mary, Dee, I'm, you know what? I'm terrible with names, but Athena and Deborah and Tracy, and I didn't have a lot of time to spend with Rob and Marie. I would have loved to do so. Cynthia, just to name everybody, like the connections. There were certain people that you really, truly, truly connected with and thought, wow, it was meant to be, and that was the feeling that I got. And of course, we'll probably get into the series of interesting events that transpired there that brought us back to the hotel for one more night. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about the Shanley is like crack for a paranormal investigator. You gotta have more and more and more and more and more. It's like candy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And Patty, you brought up Robin's name, and I'm going to use Robin as an example here, and it's not going to be bad Robin, so don't hold your breath. We all meet each other in chat rooms. We talk to each other on Facebook. Some of us are lucky enough to actually have one-on-ones on Skype. Yeah. And what was so nice about everything is the fact that when we all met each other, we weren't strangers. For Robin, for example, we've been going back and forth. Robin's got some classes coming up. She asked me to participate in one of them. We've had her on the show we go back and forth with private chats on Facebook and just kind of general hello. But when I met her, it wasn't like, oh, hi, Robin, and then, you give one of those hugs that are not real. It was tight hug. And the same way it was with you, Patty, and you also, Dee, and anybody else that I met there. I did not feel like, ooh, I just met you for the first time.
No, I agree, Mary. It was that, lucky enough we do talk on Skype, and we have had contact before. Some of us, anyways, like you said, lucky enough to. But when I saw you guys in person, it was like, I already know you.
Mm-hmm.
I already know you, so I felt so welcome and so and I thank everybody for that, because it was truly a wonderful, wonderful meeting and weekend all the way around.
Yes.
Blessing.
It was.
Truly a blessing.
So we brought you on the show for a reason.
Uh-oh.
Now, Dee, I'm gonna ask you to just kind of kick back for a second, because you've been to the Shanley before. Let's go. I know it's going to be tough, but Patty, your first time there, tell us all what you thought.
Wow. Well, I got to say, when I walked through the door of the Shanley, it was Kim. It was Kim that was with me, and I wanted to go do a walkthrough right away, and I did. And I have to say, it was like the best way I can describe it was I stepped through a realm into another time. And I felt immediately welcomed by the hotel, if that makes any sense. I'm sure it does to you ladies, but it may not to everybody. There's an energy there. There's so many energies there. But all in all, it's a very welcoming energy for the most part. There's so many layers of history. The only way I can describe it is like trying to separate the fibers, because trying to find time frames, because everything was overlapping everything. There was a lot of gaiety in that hotel. There was a lot of tragedy in that hotel. And those spirits there, I found nothing malevolent about anything. I found some cranky ones, for sure. Some not so nice ones, but for the most part, they just wanted to let you know that they were there. And there were some of them there that really needed to tell their story. Sal and his fiancée, Teresa, were more than welcoming and accommodating. This place is a hotel you have to see for yourself. You have to experience for yourself. I don't know if I can find the words to describe what I experienced there. And Dee, thank you for saying that about that connection, because Dee came on a walk with me when I was doing a walkthrough with the group, and I really appreciate that too, because it was confirmation for me as well of what I was picking up in these rooms, and with Kim too. And I really tune in to Kim. Kim, I got to tell you, I really tune in with you. It's like she's my little security blanket.
Well, and we kept, you'd go to say something and it'd fall out of both of our mouths at the same time. It was silly.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be, and it was great. It was great because I think it was confirmation for everybody involved there. But so much. I mean, I got to go into the basement first and then up to the bordello, and some of it is all just kind of a blur. I'm still trying to be honestly, you guys, I'm still trying to sort it out in my own head of wow.
Yeah, when Patty first walked in the main door, she immediately dropped her suitcase, took a big deep breath, and went, "Oh."
I do remember saying something about being hit in the face with a 2x4. That's kind of what it felt like. It was a bit much.
But it wasn't a bad 2x4. It wasn't like someone smacked you.
No, it was just so much coming at you at the same time, like 100 voices chattering. And I remember saying to Kim when I walked in, the little memories are coming back. I heard gunshots. Now, sometimes I have to confirm with people, and I said, I hear gunshots. And I think you said, I don't hear anything. But it turned out those gunshots I heard there was a room upstairs on the second floor that the bullet hole's still in the window, and the bullet, I still want to know if the lead's still up in the corner of the door. someone had shot through the window upstairs. So that kind of answered that. You'd be standing there in a room and all of a sudden get this sickly sweet smell of a perfume, and then it would be gone, or
Right.
some blowing cigar smoke in your face. I had been nudged, touched, feeling not quite myself at times.
Her head removing from her
Or
body.
looking like yourself.
I wasn't looking like myself. I'm looking at some of these pictures going, wow, man, I used to take a pretty good picture, but something's changed.
Yeah.
And
It,
you got sore hips
Things
that week,
we
too.
changed.
yeah, I mean,
That's sore hips.
Kim and I have talked about this, and I know, Patty, I talked to you privately about this. Dee, I'm not sure if I talked to you. I'm sure we did, because when we got home from this, I have to say, and this was one thing that I did talk to Dee about, when you leave the Shanley, there's so much going on there, okay? It usually takes me about a day to recuperate. The day after that, I'm fine. But I need that day to just kind of chill out and get my energy back. And we were all talking about how here it is a week later. I can honest and truthfully say Saturday was the first day when I got out of bed, I almost felt like myself again. Like I wasn't trudging through and drinking water, I was walking on my own and everything was cool. But what I was getting at is for everything to happen, that's all of us that was there, even the ones that aren't in here tonight, it was a puzzle and all the pieces had to fit to make that weekend work. I mean, with the experiences you had, and then we're going to go into Dee because Dee had some experiences too. And I saw her. She had some issues with the one side of her face. All the stories, especially at the end when you were leaving, Patty, with the pictures that I took of you, there was a reason why all of that happened.
Oh, yes.
It wasn't by accident. And we will talk a little bit later about that, but I'd like to bring Dee into the mix now.
Hello.
There you are. Now, you've been to the Shanley many times, too.
5
And
times.
every time that you go, there's usually a different experience happening, going on. And I think it all has to do with the people that you're with or whoever was there before we were there. It kind of stirs things up, whatever. But when you went this time, and we were there, Rick and I were talking about that on the way home. That's the longest I've ever spent at the Shanley. The most before was 2 nights. But we were there, Thursday, Friday,
4.
Saturday. 4 nights. Kim and I and Patty, we were there 4 nights. That was a lengthy stay for people like us to be there. So for you, did you notice any difference from any other times, or did you have any more experiences?
What I felt every time I've gone there, it's been active, it's been busy, it's always been not negative, but fairly pleasant with grumpies, like she said, grumpy people thrown in. It was more intense. The level of activity was more intense. It was more singular. It was almost like when you have a photo and you bring in the focus on your camera. Mm-hmm. It's like everything was sharper. When I was doing the walkthrough with Patty, we were in Claire's room.
Yeah, yes, we
and
were.
She was describing what she felt went on with Claire, and I know some of the story there because I've been there before, and I'm sitting, nodding my head when she was hitting things right, because this girl is right on the money. Mm-hmm. Patty's right on the money with everything. And I suddenly started getting a stabbing pain in my eye. And then she starts saying, well, she was hit in the face. Then I felt like I was being punched in the face. I had to leave. The next morning, my face was swollen. I've never had that happen at the Shanley before. And I think it's a accumulation of the energies that were there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we act oftentimes as antennas for each other. And we end up amping up the volume.
I agree. Yeah.
And the volume that weekend, Friday and Saturday night, into Sunday, because we came Friday afternoon, we left Sunday, was turned all the way up and then some. I've never had anything that continuously intense in all my paranormal experience.
Well, we kind of decided that the spirits at the Shanley were having so much fun. That's why everybody was having a hard time leaving Sunday, some more than others, but Robin, everybody was upset they had to leave Sunday.
Well, John was in the car, and I'm still on the front porch, and I kept telling him, no, I don't want to go, no, I don't want to go, no, I don't want to go.
Oh, I remember that.
But
He was in the car for like half an hour.
It was. But it was like that they were into the party too, and they wanted to make sure everybody knew they were there. And I don't think anybody walked away without several experiences that night or that weekend.
You know, it's always a party at the Shanley, but this weekend was off the hook. That weekend was off the hook.
I didn't do any of the paranormal investigating because everybody knows I was suffering with my knee. And I couldn't go down to the basement, and I couldn't go upstairs. And so I wasn't experiencing anything until Sunday. And I'm in the shower, above all places.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in there, and it's none of it was funny because it was a very sad situation. And before I talk about the shower incident, I want to bring up that the majority of the connections that people were making, that I was hearing, was primarily with women who had to get their story out.
Yep.
And, I've always kind of connected with women there, a lot of my EVPs and my personal experiences. And so I was glad because people were coming and saying, oh, I talked to this person and she went through this, and this, right? So here I am, I'm thinking I'm home free, okay? I was just kind of as a spectator there this past weekend. Thank God nothing's coming to me because I really wasn't in a place physically to get involved with any spirits until I get into the shower. And I'm just about done, and I hear this poor woman standing right outside the shower door, sighing, moaning, crying, like, help me type situation. And all I said to her was, I hear you. I understand you're in pain. Let me get somebody that can help you because I wasn't in a position to help anybody. And I was looking for you, Patty. Dee, you had already gone. Robin had already left. And then Tracy came up with Kim. And we were trying to get to the bottom of what was going on. And I know later on that day, Patty got involved because she went to the airport and came back again. It was just very strange. And my feeling as I'm listening to both of you talk is I don't think any of us connected to the same spirit. They were all different. And it got to the point where it was like, look at me, listen to me. I need to get my story out there. And if we didn't do anything at all, some of these spirits that had very bad issues had something to get out. I think they were able to because of the combination of people there.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Hello.
Robin's with us, my new BFF.
Hi. Yes, I love all of you.
How you feeling?
Oh, I'm laid up in bed. I had surgery the next morning when I returned. Mm-hmm. So, kind of a captive audience here.
Well, that's how we like them.
Yep.
But I miss all of you.
Oh, I literally, when you said come on up, I almost got in the car.
Oh, heck yeah. Come on up.
Yeah, 6 hours later. Hey, honey, I won't be home for dinner tonight.
It's not that far.
You can get it in.
Hey, Robin.
Yes.
I had to butt in and I had to say this. I wanted to thank you, and if she's listening, Medea and Cynthia, that had to have been probably one of the most enlightening conversations I've ever had, was that Saturday night.
I'm so thrilled. I'll tell you, Eric, I always said that you're a beautiful person. I know that even through the airwaves, okay, through online through TV and all of that. But meeting you in person, I even told Kim I couldn't say goodbye to you. I didn't want to say goodbye because I miss all of you, and I just wanted it to continue. And if we could have sat up even later than 4 a.m. like we did, I would have done so.
Yeah, that was one of those. That was one of those really good. That's one of those ones you'll remember for a long time.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for that, and you may now return to your regular scheduled programming.
And what?
Well, I decided no matter what we do, we've got to bring Robin with us because she really does bring good cheesecake.
Oh my God, that was
Yeah.
the best pie
Regatta
ever.
pie.
Yes.
The
Well, I
pie-
started out the show that it's the first time that I've done anything anywhere, and I didn't bring any cheesecake. I didn't have any cheesecake. You could hear the thud in the chat room of Mary didn't have cheesecake. And then Kim and everybody, I think it was Patty, reminded, well, but we did, but it was Italian.
That's right.
Yes. Much healthier one, actually. Not so many calories.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I
So
must.
you can have 2 pieces.
Yeah. And leave it to Robin, Kim, to put something in front of us that I can't get readily.
Right?
Well,
Way to go,
that's
Robin.
my answer. This is my holistic answer to dieting. Okay? If I make everybody fatter around me, I'm going to look very thin.
Amen, sister.
I
like that.
I see you, Dee.
I must throw out a warning to all the viewers, though. Never get stuck alone with Robin and Patty at the same time because you will see things you will never see again.
Yeah. We had an
Uh-oh.
incident, didn't we, Kim?
We did have an incident. I still can't figure that one out. We're standing at the bottom of the steps. Robin takes a picture of Patty as she's coming down. We see a shadow at the top of the steps that cannot possibly be Patty from where she's at on the steps.
Mm-hmm.
Robin looks at her camera, hands it to me, and right as she hands it to me, I'm watching a video. Where this video was, who this video was, no clue.
Oh, she was clairvoyantly seeing the spirits moving.
It was just with one person standing in the middle and another one passing from right to left. I couldn't tell you whether it was in front or behind because I couldn't see facial features. And I looked at Robin. She said, "You saw it, huh?" I'm like, "What the?" I look back down at her camera and I'm looking at the steps again.
I had a tail that weekend. I had a tail all weekend. So, and Robin just happened to come. And I just want to say, I wish we would have had more time together. And
I know.
But we will again. We will again.
Oh, most definitely. You know, and I didn't want to rob you away from people that really need your time and your input. And I was so glad to see you working with everybody like you were.
Thank you. And you know what? I got to tell you, your energy is just amazing, my dear. Amazing.
She has
And you know
lots
what?
of
When we're
wounds.
together, it's going to go off the Richter.
Oh, I have no doubt.
So,
This is the third. It was you, it was Dee, and it was Tracy Ray. Like the 3 of you, it was just one incident after the other.
yeah, you raised the energy in the room. And I think Kim got to experience that first time, I think.
The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Well, we know which one's a zombie. Never mind. Yeah. But I got to play with Robin's rods.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did very well with those.
Were they the ones you were holding and
Yep.
showing me across the room?
Mm-hmm.
I'm jealous. You didn't let me touch the rod.
Ha
Yeah.
I have my own rods.
I have my own rods, but I wanted to play with Robin's.
Isn't it fun when we can share like this?
It is. You know, we don't get to play. We really don't. We're
No.
always on. You know, and I had to do a lot of readings and everything, and it's nice because Saturday was a little more laid back in the evening, and we got to just hang out and talk. And that's what I love, when we all come together with ideas.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, how everybody was able to meld together. There were no egos. There were no
No.
personalities.
Not at all.
Everybody was on the same page for the love of what we do.
Amen. Yeah.
You know, I gotta break away from this for just a second, and I want to give some shout outs to our staff members that were there.
Absolutely.
They did an excellent job. We have Sal and Jen in the chat room.
Yes.
Sal was our muscle man who kept things in order, and his wife, along with my daughter-in-law Jen, she's in the chat room right now too. They manned the who's coming in, you know, and collecting tickets. And you know, the one thing that was really nice when you're putting together an event like that, obviously you can't do it all yourself. You need help. And these guys here, they had assigned jobs, but if somebody else needed something across the room, they stopped what they were doing. Oh, I'm only collecting tickets. I don't have to do that. I mean, everybody pitched in. And even our speakers, you know, our guest speakers, everybody rolled up to sleep. Nobody acted like it was beneath them to do anything.
We had speakers in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah, really?
I love cooking.
It was fun. It was a total joint effort, and everybody that was there and did volunteer, they did it out of love. They did it because they wanted to come to the Shanley, and you know, all together. Let's take my daughter-in-law. She doesn't know anybody. She knew you, Kim,
right.
Okay, and of course me. I hope she knows me. She's married to my son, but she would have done anything. She's always heard me talk about the Shanley, the Shanley. She's been to every other location with me but the Shanley. So when she got there and she walked in, she was grinning from ear to ear. And then she decided to go up onto the third floor.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Mark took her up to the third floor. She wasn't up there too long when the dizzies hit, you know, and the feeling a little lightheaded and just strange. And she came down. And I said, well, what'd you think? She goes, that is like really weird up there. She said, I couldn't stay long at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I call her a paranormal investigator in training because she does really well now when she goes out with me. But I didn't really give her too much information about that third floor. She found out real quick. Robin, did you get to go up to the third floor at all while you were there?
You know what, and Kim can vouch for this, we had an elderly spirit that was following us around. I even had a night visit that came in to me, always the same woman. And I kept going to the foot of the staircase to go up to the third floor, and it kept saying, don't go.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm set on high, and this is part of the conversation that I was having with Eric and the rest of the people in the room on Saturday night, well, Sunday morning, I should say, that, you know, there's high energy, there's high levels of gamma rays and EMF readings and all of that that's coming in from that third floor. So scientifically, you know, what we can put out there, there's something going on up there, and there's a lot more that needs to be examined. So I'm set on high, like probably Dee and Patty, and I am highly sensitive to that. So even just feeling it at the bottom of the staircase, it's like, you know, not to go there. And I don't want to say it's a negative energy. It's not that it's demonic or anything. But if things happened up there, you know, murders, injuries, accidents, you know, even negative energy fights that may have gone on up there, you feel all of that. It travels through those waves. And so it goes from scientific into a spiritual thing.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, so I didn't even want to venture up there. I had enough activity going on in my bedroom in room number 3. So
Oh.
I've heard about that room.
Well, and
Yeah.
she kept going, you have a lady behind you. This lady keeps following you, and then she
I
starts
know.
taking pictures. That lady is still there.
I take pictures for a reason. And that's when I'm seeing things or feeling something, I know when to shoot it.
Mhm.
And I kept getting these white masses coming out behind Kim everywhere we went.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to put this question out to the three of you because, and I really think I know the answer, but do you feel that there's a lot of children spirits there too?
Yes.
I had a little boy on the first floor that was playing, so I know there's a lot more there, but it's who came out to me in particular.
Yep.
So I saw him walking around and playing. A lot of happy spirits are there.
Yes.
You know, that's the thing, that the Shanley is like an onion. There are layers and layers and layers.
Yeah.
I dislike the third floor just because, like you said, Robin, it's so intense. You know, it's like walking barefoot over rocks.
Exactly. It almost hurts to walk into that. And when I feel that kind of energy going off, I back off from it. And it's not out of fear or anything. You just feel like that it's not a comfortable place to go.
No, it's because, you know, when psychic is that high, when we're out there, our vibration is that high. Incoming information is just can get overwhelming. And when you have a place, that third floor is just so busy, I can only spend short periods of time there. And I choose to avoid it. I choose to avoid it if I have. Last time I was at the Shanley, I never went on the third floor.
Well, you and I, if we go into that type of setting, and certainly we do when we're out on different investigations, you fall into areas like that you wind up getting ill.
Yes.
You know, someone like you and I will feel kind of off for a couple of days, you know, or our moods will change. And that's why it really rocks that energy around us. We're just set on high.
We are. And I've been running around since I listened to David Roundtree. I've been running around pushing the center screw on all the outlets in my house, trying to ground myself. It helps. It helps.
Yeah, it does help. And I agree with both you ladies. You know, that third floor, I tell you, I had to push my way up the staircase and was feeling drunk every time. The first trip up there, I needed help down the stairs.
Yes.
But I was drawn up there yet. I was still drawn, very much drawn. And I had 2 children, 3 actually. I think there was another little girl that was around. She would just pop around. But I did get to meet Rosie, and I did get to meet Jonathan. And Rosie had started coming to me probably 6 months before we got there, when Kim first invited me. So Rosie,
they know you're coming.
Wow. Yeah, they know you're coming. They know you're coming. And then the darker energy, who I didn't like, who happened to be, I guess his name is Joe, wasn't particularly happy about Joe.
Yeah.
But yet he's got a very confusing energy because he's protective of Jonathan.
You're right. You know, he's like good guy, bad guy. He plays like good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, well, I described him as the judge, the jury, and the executioner. He made the decisions. So,
yep.
I'll just leave it at that. But there was the one room upstairs, and I think that was the room that Claire had hung herself in, was the room that I connected to the most, and the one spirit that I connected to the most.
Yes, you did.
Because I really did not want to leave the hotel. And I said, like I said to Kim on the way out, I left a part of myself back there, but there was a lot going on.
You know what's interesting, ladies, is that there are so many entities there. So many spirits there. They don't want to leave the hotel either.
They don't. They stay for a reason. And it's not always a bad reason. It's not because of trauma, necessarily.
No.
Sometimes it is, but there's a lot of happiness that was there. They were partying like we did. There were people that got together and talked and visited and probably returned there numerous times because they enjoyed going there.
That's right.
You know, so you have a lot of wonderful spirits, and I'm really glad whoever that was. Some were telling me it was Ethel. Or Esther, rather, that was coming out. You know, she fit that description, who I didn't know the description of. I try not to study too much of those things.
No.
You know, and I try not to memorize any of that so I can see raw, you know, and report what I am experiencing. And then we kind of match that up. But she was very loving. not intrusive in any means. She did wake me up in the night on Friday overnight, and she kind of shook the bed a little bit. And that can just be from the energy around her. It's not done in a malicious way. And she caressed my face, which I thought was so nice. I really needed that at the time. As I said, I was going in for surgery on Monday. So I was kind of laying low for the weekend for a change and not getting too involved in all of that. But she just cupped my face, and it lulled me back to sleep right away. I was so comfortable with her.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I was at the Shanley, I was in Esther's room. Kim, weren't you in that room?
Yes.
The one with I was in that room, and I had this elderly woman who every night when I went to bed would caress my face, would pat my hair, would touch my arm, just as I was going to sleep, like she was this very comforting person.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I'll never forget it.
Well, Robin, I have to ask you. Sorry, Pat, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But you were on Just Saying a few months back where you were scrying some pictures for us.
Yes.
And the one picture was of Kim and I. I was at the monitor of the computer, and she was over my shoulders. And you saw this older woman come out through the credenza.
Yes, she was up in the air.
Saying happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday. Was that the same woman?
She looks like her, and that's why at the time when I was doing that scrying for you, and this is out of a personal picture that you took from your visit there with Kim and Eric, and at the time we thought it was Kim's grandmother.
Oh.
Now it could have been because she was following her around through the building. It could possibly be. I mean, I don't know. I would have to see pictures of Kim's grandmother, and I could identify her. Now, if I look more at pictures of Esther, and I should do that, I'm still laid up here. It's only been a week since my surgery, but I'd like to look into some of the old photos, or paintings of Esther and see if that matches up with the characteristics that I saw.
Yeah, that thought just hit me. And Patty, this goes to you. We should send Robin those pictures of the three of us out at the front porch and see if she picks anything up. Robin, we have some unique pictures on when Patty was leaving.
The first time.
And I'll just give you a little scenario if you want it as to why those pictures got taken. I don't know how much you want to know what you do and don't.
Well, you know me. The less is the better.
Okay, then I'll send them along to you. I can either send them to you on Skype or I'll leave them on your Facebook for you to look at. But I was minding my own business when I had to take these pictures. And the way the pictures are, and all I had was my camera phone. David Roundtree took the pictures. And all I heard was, get a picture of Patty. And then when I went to go take the picture, I was instructed it had to be the three of us, me, Kim, and Patty. So we need you to look at these and scry these pictures.
Yes.
And maybe answer something for us because there's something there. And I'm pretty sure you're going to pick it out when you see it.
Yeah, I would really appreciate that too, Robin, because, and I would like to talk to you because, and get your input. It would be some confirmation for me of what's going on with me right now. So.
Yes, you could have somebody with you for a while.
Yeah, and I don't mind her, actually. I quite like her.
Well, then she needs to go. And that simply we'll talk to her and kind of move her along elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that she has some things she has to say first. And I'm getting that strongly. But
and that's what I do. When I do the photo scrying, I see live and animated spirits in them. They come out clairvoyantly and clairaudiently to me. So it's not physically what's in the photo. For instance, when I took the photo of you up on the staircase, I got what looked like a shadow person that was standing down in front of you. You weren't casting a shadow there. This is something we couldn't explain. And I showed a lot of people across the weekend what I picked up in the photo. But what I do with the scrying is it's just like scrying through a crystal ball. So I'm seeing them physically come to me and communicate with me. So if somebody's following you for a while, you know, what I do is I always use a holistic approach, just as I do with counseling. I'm a behavioral psychologist, and when I sit with people in person, I try to help them with their problems. And that's exactly the approach that I take with spirit. So I would hang out with that spirit through the photograph, and they'll let me know what's bothering them or what they have to say and why they're with you.
That sounds wonderful, Robin. I can't wait to hear your take on this.
And she does it well.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt, Robin.
And it's really nice to even do it for spiritual people like yourself and Dee, because it does confirm usually what you guys are picking up already.
Right. And that's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
And doing what we do, it's so nice to get confirmation.
Absolutely.
It's so nice to have backup. Because it's so intangible all the time to the masses.
Mm-hmm.
We know what we see, think, feel, hear, what the input is, but trying to just make it a little more tangible, trying to make it a little more real for people.
Right.
And we have people,
Yes.
right, and we have our cheerleaders there going, yeah, I got it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. Yes, and it was a very exciting part of the weekend, too, is when you're with somebody and finishing each other's sentences and spitting the words out at exactly the same time. And it's like, okay, we got it. You know, it's definite confirmation.
Yeah, sisterhood.
Yeah, sisterhood, yes.
Well,
And we're pulling Kim into our circle.
Yes.
By the hair.
yeah,
Yes, she's going to come kicking and screaming. Mary's already there, so I'm not even including Mary. She's already got one foot in the door.
That's right.
But and she'll get another one in. I think she's only halfway in. But Kim, we're going to pull her in because I know she's experiencing things.
Who, me?
Yeah, she is.
Yes, you.
I don't know what you people are talking about.
Watch him try and change the subject now.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, you know, we're talking about all the psyche aspects of things that went on, and there was a ton. But I sat back and I was watching the guys. And check it out. And they were just so into it, you know. I loved it. And with David, with his experiments, and I'll bring up Sal and Jen. He was in his glory, and it's nice to see that there were things for us, and there's a lot of male psychics and mediums out there too, but the guys seem to be more into, I call the toys, you know.
Yes.
And the comparing of the notes and here, let's try this, that was nice to watch too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? John is a skeptical atheist. My honey. And he had a blast. He said he hadn't had I've dragged him along to a lot of events.
Uh-huh.
He said this was the best one he's ever been to.
It's because
He's very interesting gentleman.
Oh, he's a sweetheart.
Well, we must mention that Jody was one of the few guys who did not go exploring it, and
Yeah.
Jody wanted nothing to do with it. He was quite content sitting down with us and just chatting.
You know, I want to make a comment about Jody. When I got home on Sunday, I unloaded. I got like a book from everybody or a DVD or something from everybody, just about. But brought my books in, threw them on the coffee table. My son spied the Bigfoot books. So he picked them up and he's looking at the Bigfoot books, and I'm telling, we had a babysitter come here for the weekend for him because he had broken his leg, and we're talking about our weekend. And next thing I know, my son's on the phone talking to somebody about Bigfoot and cryptozoology. My 19-year-old son who has no filter. I wonder where he gets that from.
I can tell you.
I have no comment.
But Jody had put one of his cards in the book. My son takes the card out and he calls him. I get Jody on the phone, and when he realized it was my son, I'm like, what a genuine, nice, down-to-earth, sweet man to spend the time with a complete stranger who called him literally out of the blue to spend that time with my son on the phone, encouraging him, giving him information, giving him websites, and giving him direction in the field of cryptozoology. Amazing.
And not to mention, too, he had missed his flight, had to catch it like 5 o'clock and it was half dead. Yeah, I see. Hello, son. and he took the time. That's Jody Cook.
That is him. You know,
I adore him. I really do. He's always willing to teach every place, and I've gone coast to coast with him now to events, and he's just always that way, very open. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yes. And we resolved a lot of political issues while we were there as well. So they're very important. We covered all the bases. We went from Bigfoot to Obama. It was perfect.
Obamacare and John, yes. I remember that. That
so
was
Jody's
hysterical.
very well-rounded.
He is.
Yes, he
And
is.
his parting words to me were to tell John that he's an American now and to stop being so nice.
You know, that's where it doesn't matter whether one disagrees or agrees or has anything to say. It's so nice to just be able to be yourself, and you know what you're dealing with because people are honest and upfront with you on what they feel, what's their opinion, you know?
And at the end of the day, agree to disagree.
Sure.
And still be okay with each other the next day.
Absolutely. Hey, let's go look for Bigfoot now. We're done.
Exactly. I want to go Bigfoot hunting.
Yeah.
I live in a big country, so you guys can come here for a visit, by the way.
Oh,
Yay!
Party of Patties.
Yeah, up to Patty's house. And then you can make us the pierogies.
Right?
Exactly. And then I can feed you guys.
I'm going to take all of you out to Centralia because I'm moving down to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I get to see her more often now.
Braggart.
Yeah. I got
Hey,
chased
did
in
I have-
Centralia. See, we have shapeshifters out there.
Cool. Speaking of bragging, did I have to mention that my room had its own bathroom?
Only every other sentence.
Well, did you think I'd get through the whole show without saying I had my own
By
bathroom?
the way, I have my own bathroom. You can't use my bathtub.
I said you could use it.
No, you kept telling me I couldn't use it.
She told you telepathically, Dee.
That's right.
You know, Dee, we were kind of thrown out because, you know, she was letting Robin use her bathroom.
Oh, really?
I said to Robin, anytime you want to use my bathroom,
See?
you can.
Oh,
Just
heck,
don't
I didn't
talk
know.
to me.
Oh.
That's okay. I used the one down at the other end of the hall that nobody ever seemed to use anyway. So.
Hey, that was my bathroom.
Hey, snitches get
My
stitches,
bathroom,
Mary.
too. Are you the one that left the ring around the top?
No, that was Eric.
That would be me.
That was fur, not dirt.
The truth comes out.
Ew.
Yeti in the tub.
See, I'd make a terrible murderer. I leave DNA everywhere I go.
Oh,
Note
boy.
to self, shave first.
I don't have that much money or time.
No.
So I'm going to put this out there to the three of us. A few years ago, I did an event at the Shanley. We did what is called the Singapore theory, where you dress back for that particular
Yes.
period. We had a lot of experiences. We got some video footage, a little bit more so than normal. I think it was more personal experiences. The women were quite curious as to the outfits we were wearing. Most of us were dressed up as bordello babes. And there were a couple flappers there. And you could actually feel your like I had a gown on with it was all it was in good taste. And you could feel being touched. And I know there was somebody there that was saying, you have a lady that's standing right next to you and she's touching. And I said, yeah, I can feel it. And we did a EVP session up in the bordello. And one of the questions that we asked is, do you like our clothes? And we got a sharp no. It was the best we could come up with. The guys were good because they were all dressed as gangsters. My husband looked fantastic. He went to an actual costume shop, and he had a suit of that era. And so I was just wondering what your thoughts are in dressing in period clothes.
Well, I think that looking at it as a trigger object, the period clothing being a trigger object, or using music or drumming, where you have maybe Native Americans who did drumming ceremonies. It's all about trigger objects. And I think it makes them more comfortable. I think they can relate. And it's something, they may not understand jeans and a T-shirt.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They may relate more and be able to really come through more when you're more on, what can I say? I don't want to say their level, but trying harder to be more in their time frame.
Mm-hmm.
I had in the bordello, I was wearing a similar outfit, a longer skirt, high-low hem skirt, and a blouse. And we were talking about what it was like for them, what it might have been like back in the day. I had more activity in that 20-minute conversation. We could hear them coming out through the curtains. The curtains started moving. We could hear their dresses. But I think using that language of the time, clothes of the time, as trigger objects, get you more in tune with what they're doing and what they experienced, because they're in their time frame. Make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I totally agree.
Yeah.
I would like to mention, though, that with all the craziness and activity and everything going on last weekend, someone had mentioned that it was mainly the women that were out and about.
Mm-hmm.
The cat went hiding. Usually everybody at some point hears or feels that cat. That cat wasn't around that much.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't somebody get scratched on Friday night, though?
Yeah, that was Cody up on the third floor.
Yeah.
Now, James, I don't know if he got an EVP, but he thought he heard a cat move. But, for people who have cats, that's not unusual.
No,
Whenever
it's not.
I have a large amount of people over here, and I have 5 cats, they all run and go hide. And as the crowd starts to thin down, one by one they'll come out.
Yeah.
And a cat's going to be a cat, the traits, alive or dead. So that could be the reason why.
Well,
Definitely.
what I was
They sneak through the hallway, when everybody's kind of in their rooms, and that's when you catch them.
Mm-hmm.
well, what I was saying is not only was it the cat who, by all rights, does what a cat does, but the children weren't as prevalent, and the men, when you would catch the men, they were sitting back and watching. They weren't really interacting.
Well, maybe it was all the female energy there.
Well, that's what I was thinking, and I mentioned in the beginning, it was like more connecting with the females, because it was like, oh my God, we got this whole hotel full of these women that can actually talk to us, and we're going to get it out while we can.
It was a sewing circle.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Although I did connect with a couple of the men. But mind you, I have been told on more than one occasion that I've got a bit of a male bulldozer energy to me too. And I have a tendency to try and pull that back a little bit, because I've been, on other investigations, I've been pinched and punched and choked and everything else because of it. So I pulled that back a bit. But I just wanted to mention quickly, when you're talking about the cat, remember, Kim, I had asked you, I had taken a private tour through the hotel of a couple that drove out from Rome, New York to visit me.
Yes.
And they wanted to see the Shanley. So I did take them up to the third floor. And that was the day I told Kim I'm only going to go up there once.
Yep.
Once. I lied. I went up twice.
I know you did.
I had to. Tracy and David were upstairs.
Whatever.
Hello?
Whatever.
Oh,
Don't
That
say
was-
anything you don't plan on keeping.
I know, honey. I know. I couldn't help myself. I didn't stay long. Anyways, when I took the private tour up and I was just up there with Shelley and Michael, the room with the cat toys in it, there was a little wooden thing with a bell on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
When we
You
walked
know
in,
what that was, don't you?
what's that?
Do you know what that is?
No.
It
I
was
thought
an apparatus. I think it was a mock-up of the apparatus that they used to use when they buried someone.
Oh.
They put the rope out,
Okay.
so in case they buried them alive and they could ring the rope,
yeah, I've
they
heard
could
that.
ring the bell.
That's right. That's right. That would make sense. But I
Yeah.
thought it was just a cat toy. And it was, anyways, that thing was moving up there. It wasn't ringing, but it was moving, and it was moving quite a bit. We even stomped on the floor to see if we could make it move. And it wasn't the floor vibration of any way, shape, or form. And it was moving quite a bit, but not ringing. That was the interesting part. And Michael noticed it right away. And Michael, who never had experiences, when I took them into the bordello, he was stopped on the second step and literally stopped. So he was a little thrown by that because he's never had an experience like that before.
Only at the Shanley.
Only
and
at the Shanley.
speaking of having an experience, you had an experience almost right away. Patty, if I can recall, you lost your audio recorder?
Oh my gosh, yes. Right away. I put my luggage down when we got there because Kim and I went through the hotel right away. I didn't even take my stuff upstairs. I opened up my bag and I had all my equipment on my carry-on. I used it as my bag, as my handbag too. And I opened it up and I took everything out and I rummaged through it and my voice activator recorder was gone, like gone. And it was right on top. Anyways, later on in the evening, I go upstairs and guess where it's sitting? In the middle of the bed I'm sleeping in. I thought, you sneaky buggers.
Wow.
They're helpful.
Well,
They're
we had
helpful.
something else go missing too.
I did ask them to put it back, and they did, and I appreciated that.
Oh, Robin, I did mention to Sal that your ankle bracelet went missing out of the bathroom.
Oh, I found it.
Did you?
Yes.
You know, I had a ring go missing the last time I was there. And Teresa had found it and went to give it back to me last weekend. She goes, "Oh, I found your ring." And I let her have it because I had another one like it.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Out of
No,
curiosity,
I put my bracelet in the vault and I forgot because I knew I was going to leave it behind in the restroom. So, you stuff it in the bra and everything goes there. And there could be a family of 10 in there and, for a couple of weeks and I wouldn't even know it. So I found
bra
it.
pocket.
Dee,
Bra
just
pocket.
out of curiosity, where did she find it? Was it someplace you weren't?
It was we had done a memorial event for a friend of ours that had passed away. And this woman loved Twizzlers. That's kind of why I have Twizzlers around. And I'd done like a Twizzler bouquet in a vase. And she found it in the bottom of the vase.
Oh,
And I'll
Interesting.
tell you, there was one time I went up just to see Sal one afternoon, and we took our dogs up. Miss Mia right here behind me. Mia's 4 years old. She was about 3.5 then. And Mia hit in all the hot spots, including the third floor. When she went through Joe's room, she slunked on the floor. When she crossed the threshold into Jonathan's room, she got all puppy. She got all puppy. Then when she went across the hallway into Claire's room, she got terrified and ran back down the hallway.
oh.
So, animals are as sensitive as we are.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Oh, Very much so. I know my cats even here turn into complete fur balls if they're like my warning system sometimes before I even pick it up.
Yep. Very much so. You know, it's amazing what we can learn from them, and it's amazing that how they can be our indicators.
Yeah, they're wonderful to use. I've been using them a great deal out on investigations.
Yeah, I'm actually doing some research on that right now, taking dogs out on investigations. So I'm working on my next animal book, and that's going to be a chapter dedicated.
That's wonderful. I'd love to tell you some stories, Mary, because they've been very, very helpful piecing things together.
They are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
They see a lot of things that humans don't see during the day. They see what's going on at the house. They know what spirits are there, and they fill you in on all of that.
Oh, yes, they do. And you can tell when they've been weirded out, when they've connected with something. They just have... They're expressive because that's what they have to do for survival. They read animals' body languages. They read your body language, and they're expressive. And if you can tune into that, you can pick up so much more. It'd be Sorry, Robin asked me a question about who is Roscoe, and I have no idea, but it would be interesting to find out.
Yeah, that came through your dog. That's why it's funny because all this came up, and I saw him stick his face, over on your shoulder, and the name Roscoe was said.
Well, she was a puppy mill rescue.
Yeah.
So, was it in a positive or a negative context?
Just the name.
Okay.
Just the name.
I know.
Came with it. What's that, Mary?
Maybe you were supposed to give Roscoe a shout out. Sometimes things just happen.
That's right.
And maybe how old was the dog when you got it?
She was 3.5 when we got her in September. She turned 4 in January.
Oh.
And she had 35 puppies in those 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Who knows? Speaking of animals, we do want to give a shout out to Helpers for Shelters.
Absolutely.
Excellent group. Oh, I've worked with I've worked with a lot of shelters to this point, and they are so dedicated. I mean, they eat, sleep, and drink the shelter, and their concern is there. I mean, their tables that they had were fantastic with all the things on it. I bought one of the blankets, and there's a really kind of warming story behind those blankets, and I don't know if anybody else talked to her about those, but all those little things that are handmade, the little cat toys and the dog toys and the blankets and the other assortment of things, they're made by women at a senior citizen, a rehab and nursing home. Wow. These women that they love to crochet, they have people that donate the yarn, they drop it off, and boom, they get calls 2 days later. I bought one. I have one. And I thought, how wonderful. The whole scenario of those people. They're more involved than just with animals. But, they give these older women a purpose,
Full circle.
To make things. Exactly. Right. So if anybody hasn't liked their page on Facebook, please do so, because they're all wonderful, wonderful people that work there.
They are. They're a lot of fun. And they all won something in the raffle that they actually wanted.
Excellent.
Oh, did they? That's great.
Yeah, that was good.
One of them was actually threatening a throwdown. She's like, I want that piece right there, and if anybody gets it, we're going to have a battle in the parking lot. And she was number 2 in the raffle and got her little piece, so it was safe for everybody.
Anyway, well, you know what? I'm looking at the time here, and we just blew through an hour plus.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hate that.
I know. We could probably, you know what we really should do, and I'm going to put this out there, and because it's going to be seen at some point. After Robin gets those pictures, okay, We should do an entire show with all of us back again, and then piece it all together.
That would be
Because-
great. Because
You know what? All of you took photos. Send me everything. All of you.
I didn't take photos.
I've got
I keep-
videotaped Robin.
No, but anybody else that
Yep.
did, just send me all the photos that you have. There's a lot of people that took them.
Oh yeah.
So send them on over. Don't tell me anything. Don't give me names. Don't say what room it was in. Nothing.
And remove any taglines you have on it before you send them to her.
Yes,
Exactly.
please.
We should send her that one that Cynthia took of us on the porch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, there's that question thing on there that I sent to you, Kim, and you said a couple of Cynthia's pictures had that, and we couldn't figure out what it was.
Yes.
And
Oh,
also
definitely.
that one of the hand. She should see that and see what that's all
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, there was for the amount of like my husband, he's a amateur photographer, and we had Cynthia there taking pictures, and there's some that I was looking at his tonight. He took 620 pictures. So
Oh
be
my
careful
goodness.
be careful what you wish for, Robin.
See? Oh no, I'm an addict. I give up sleep. I'll sit up all night long looking at photos.
But there's some of them that you're like, what's that? And you know that their cameras, they're not,
Did it
Cynthia and
double
Rick are not ones like, oh, let me just stop a picture. You know, I mean, they take their time to do it. So we have a bunch we're going to send you, but very interested in finding out with the one with Patty, Kim, and I.
Definitely.
So anyway, we want to thank you all for joining us.
Wait, stop,
before we
hold
go-
it. Wait.
Go ahead, Kim.
I
You're gonna
think
make the announcement?
Patty and Dee have something to say.
Exactly.
Do we?
Apparently we do.
Don't answer that.
Don't
I'm not
answer it.
sorry about that. I'm just
Hello,
ignoring.
you have reached.
I'm just gonna sit on it. There we go. Is that quieter? That's
She-
better.
she- knowing Patty, she's literally
She
sitting on it.
is.
I am literally sitting on it, and you know it.
Oh, wait a minute. If it was Robin, put it in the vault.
Into bra pocket.
Take your message, girls.
Stop bringing girls yet now.
Okay, Patty and Dee, the floor is yours right now.
Well,
You go ahead, Steve.
okay, honey. Starting probably the first week in June. We haven't got it all ironed out yet, but Patty and I are going to be co-hosting a show on Penn. The working title is Two Side Chicks, A View from the Fringe. And we're going to be
Aw.
starting every other week, getting all aspects of the metaphysical in there and having fun with our guests.
Congratulations.
Thank you. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed working with Dee for the very short time that we did, and I think this is going to be a blast, especially with the lineup of guests that we've got already jotted down. Should get quite interesting. Not to mention you and I can talk nonstop anyway, so.
Well, we do that anyway. We love Skype.
Yes, we do.
Skype is our friend.
Skype is our friend.
It's our friend.
And we're all sending love and healing to Robin Marie's knee.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Robin, you take care and you heal well, honey.
Thank you. I can't wait to get out of here. I'm trapped.
When John gets home tomorrow, I'm going to talk to him about making some chicken soup and making a Massachusetts run. How's that?
That's funny you said that. You know, my daughter came to visit from New York this weekend. It was Mother's Day. And she brought me a can of Campbell's chicken soup.
Oh,
And she handed that to me. She goes, here, feel better.
Well, honey, it's the thought that counts. At least it was chicken soup.
Yeah.
comfort
That's true.
food.
That's true. Well, anyway,
We would like
it's that time.
Yes, unfortunately. But we would like to thank you all, Patty Szakacs, D-Dove, and the blue glittery Robin Marie for
Yeah.
joining us this evening.
Lots of
And see-
love.
Marlo even came to join to say goodbye to all of you. He was
Marlo,
listening.
sweet boy.
Oh,
Mary, don't you
so
have a book?
beautiful.
So gorgeous.
Mary,
And
don't you have a
thank you
book?
for having us, you guys. This was a lot of fun.
It was a blessing. Thank
Thank you.
Oh yeah, and Mary has a book.
Yes, Animals Impacting the World. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Shipper. And I sold a lot of these books there last week. People were very excited to hear about animals, which is nice.
And
this
some
is
of us-
Marlo. Marlo's one of my rescues. And I also want to thank Dee. She gave me a wonderful St. Francis metal necklace.
Yes.
And I haven't taken it off at all. So, anyway.
And some of us have the autographed cup. Just say
Thank-
I have an autograph book.
cup,
Me too.
coffee
Cup.
cup.
She's got an autographed cup.
I like the cups.
See how you are?
Yeah, see how that goes? You guys got books. She got a cup. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. And seriously, once you get all the pictures, Robin,
Yes.
bring you all back and let's discuss it because I'm sure you're going to see a lot of interesting things there.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
please get those to me as soon as possible.
Absolutely. I'll ship them over to you. Probably. I can text them to you. I can send them to you through the phone, through the text message.
Great.
Get them there. Okay. Kim,
Yes, dear.
got to talk about next week and then we're out of here.
Next week, well, let's see. First of all, Friday on Pima TV, we have Brett Oldham, who was just indicted into the Las Vegas Music Hall of Fame.
Indicted as
Well, he was indicted. It's Brett.
It's a grand jury.
No, it's Brett. It's okay. He was indicted. He was inducted. He's also a paranormal investigator with Halo Paranormal and an author. That will be Friday evening, and then Monday we have author and paranormal investigator Jackie Carpenter.
All right.
And with that, we're out of here, except in 35 minutes, Off the Wall with Becca Sugar. Come back or stick around. Either way, something different every night, and we're adding more daily, apparently.
All right. So we're going to say goodnight. Have a great week. Make sure you tune in every night to Penn because there's something cool every single night.
And check out the Szakacs.
Bye, guys.
Yes. Good night.